Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Welcome back to a Pub in the Life. Good morning. Actually, we're recording this in an afternoon. Good morning. Yeah, we're so very energetic today. Happy Thursday to you. Almost the end of the week. We are giving us a head start in recording because mom is away a lot this week. So yeah, maybe the word has changed in a couple of weeks. There's maybe a new pope, or maybe not. We don't know. Anyways, in today's pod, boring is where the opportunity is. Um, it's it's kind of a weird, or actually very boring, I would say. Couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months for mom, where she is finding herself living an entrepreneurial moment that is quite different from everything that she knew before. It's not inherently good or bad, it's simply different. And it is truly a moment of change. But we will be able to talk a lot about this in the future when this thing uh, is actually changing, and maybe even, you know, really found ourselves finding some answers that we don't have yet, which is fine. But just to let you know, it is a challenging moment and a moment of change, which is inherently good. Change is always inherently good. You must understand it. Nevertheless, because it makes us grow. Nevertheless, the probably worst thing about this moment is that mom finds herself to be bored sometimes. And so we started thinking a lot about the evolution and the meaning of boredom, actually, in people's lives, and in general in lives. Also, for me as a dog, sometimes boredom leads me to sleep, which makes me dream, which is that's very cool. So yeah, the evolution of the thought process that mom had was, boredom, like, you cannot really avoid it. You can fill yourself with other things to do, and you can deal with it, but like, once you feel it, it's like you can act upon it, but you felt it for some reason that it's not going to go away if you simply have something to do. Now, this might sound as a bit of an interesting point of view, or maybe even weird, or maybe too philosophical, I don't know. But it goes simply to say that boredom is something that inherently doesn't even have other meaning, that you are not challenged enough in what you're doing at this point in time. And giving yourself to, for example, tidy up your room, or make the dishes, or I don't know, contacting people to sell something and contacting more people, yes, might lead to different results. Some of those might be good, some of those might be mediocre, some of those might be just, okay, I'm passing the time, but it means you are not challenged enough. Now, can this momentarily activity help you out understand how to be challenged more? Yes, no, maybe. It depends. It's not, the short-term reaction is not what you're looking at. What we're trying to look at instead is the ability of asking ourselves, why are we bored? Now, the answer to this for mom might just be, you're bored because your schedule looks different than maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, or whatever. And so you're feeling bored because you don't really know how to deal with that. Now, that is the first answer. The second answer might be, you're just waiting for some responses, which is totally normal in an entrepreneur's life once you need to deal with lots of other entities that are not your sole entity, your own entity, and you live in a regulated market, as any market, even though can be capitalistic market, you live in a regulated market. That's just the way it is. There are lots of reasons, and And then the main reason probably being, it's because you're inherently changing. And so while you change, it's boring. It feels like nothing is happening. But take this into consideration. With boring businesses, with boring things that just look like very old stuff, that hasn't innovated, that hasn't had a great digital run, or anything similar. How do you feel, and what do you think might be the best place to invest for digitalization? Is it that, or is it something that's already highly digitized and where you cannot make a difference very soon? Well, it's probably the first one, the boring business. The problem is that nobody wants to do, well, started braining. Nobody wants to do boring businesses because they're boring. And so you will have a lot. This is Cody Sanchez, the influencer and business builder, is very high on this in the US, where it's a bit easier than the European market to do so. But anyways, it's a good example. She's saying, okay, boomers are retiring and people are not taking over. This is exactly what's happening, simply because people don't want to do boring. This is what it is. And so accepting the boring state of something means it's the inherent passage to accept that there might be a way to change things, that there might be a way to do something better, that there might be a way to evolve. This is the only way you can do it. It's the only way you can accept that probably it's okay to feel bored. Now, I know it sounds cheesy, and we're probably also doing this podcast because we're bored, but we're sharing, which is fine. And as you can hear, we have a storm incoming, and I probably wanted this podcast to be in the actual storm for us to have a good metaphor on what would boring look like, the calm before the storm, before the change, before something happens. Now, these are some implications on the future of Mom's company and way of seeing things, and how you approach the AI revolution and how you approach the digital revolution in general, that she hadn't even gotten any slightest idea in like a year ago. But, during the boringness and the no's and the many things and failures, you'll find something which potentially might be a gem. But it's being boring. And next time you hear somebody right across the street that's thinking about retiring, but that hasn't done it yet, and probably wants to do it, but hasn't got an hair to their name, or whatever, doesn't have kids, or maybe doesn't even know that they can pass on the business, try and understand. The next time you think, oh my God, like, why this bakery or HVAC cleaner or laundromats or whatever doesn't have a social media page, ask yourself and try and see if you can be the builder for them. Not suggesting that you're going to be the one solving the thing, but I guess that skills and innovation with boring is usually a good match. It started raining very badly, so this is all today. We're probably gonna get bored at home. And for now, we're sending you lots of boring cases, hugs, and a bit of marks.